Hi everyone, this is Umu, and today I'm here with a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, everyone? My name is Samuel Seo. I'm a local musician based in Seoul.
And I was wondering what genres of music you associate yourself with, or if you don't associate yourself with anything.
I wouldn't associate myself to any kind of music because there's so many possibilities for me to jump to different genres. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
That's
really,
just,
really
yeah.
respect that. So we'll just
Mm,
jump into the very first question. I have little
mhm.
categories. This is general questions.
Yep.
And I read somewhere that you've been a pianist since age 5. So I was
Mhm.
wondering how your music theory knowledge or classical training with piano helped your songwriting. And maybe could you give us a few examples?
It's nothing fancy. As a kid, I was just messing up with Beethoven and Mozart like
Hey.
every other kids in Korea. You know, it's kind of typical to grow when you grow up in a Korean family. They start
Uh-huh.
learning piano at early ages.
Oh, right.
So it just happened to me naturally, like nothing fancy. Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
continued, was it the kind of like forced piano learning, or did you actually?
Yeah, it was actually. I didn't even enjoy it back then.
So when you were learning piano and you played
Mhm.
Beethoven and everything, did they also teach you music theory on the side, or you just mainly learned the usual pieces?
No, I just learned the usual pieces. I just learned how to play rather than all the theological stuff. Like I wasn't really interested in all that knowledge. You know what I
Right.
mean?
When you compose, you do everything
Yeah.
by ear?
By myself. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, so I try to keep everything myself. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I was going to ask because your vocal melodies are so recognizable throughout all the different genres that you try out. So I was wondering
Mhm.
if there are specific types of melodies, specific intervals or harmonies that demonstrate your sound the best, that you tend to lean towards.
Whoa, that's kind of fancy, but not that I know of. I tried all that theological movements during the process of majoring in music as a
Mhm.
college student, but you know, when something becomes the thing that you have to study, it suddenly turns into things
Right.
that's no longer enjoyable, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So I just told myself, and I just found out that why don't I just enjoy it rather than make an approach like studying, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What is music to you? Is it a form of art, a way of communicating, or just a simple passion?
A little bit of this and that, but mostly it's a form of art.
Mhm.
People do music for all kind of reason, right? Some of them
Right.
do it for money, some of them do it for fame and all that. But for me, I just want my music to be a invisible form of art that triggers people from my region to live happier and I don't know, more chill life by listening to it. But
Mhm.
yeah, you'll see what I mean when I release my third album next year. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh,
It's gonna
that's
be
so
amazing.
exciting.
I promise. It's gonna be freaking amazing. Yeah.
Okay, but before I start asking for more spoilers, moving on to
Hmm.
the next question, I actually reached out to my YouTube subscribers to see if they had any questions
All
for
right.
you about your Unity album. And
All right.
Christine Doe asked,
Mhm.
what is your favorite part about writing and releasing songs?
Mm. I wouldn't say a part because music is like the only fun thing to do with my life.
Oh my goodness, relatable.
I know there's a lot of things to enjoy, but in most cases, it's kind of temporary, right?
Mhm.
Just at the moment, but music, it just gives me endless joy for no reason.
Right. So you both
Yeah.
enjoy the creative, in the moment making music process and releasing it to your fans,
Mhm.
like just
Mhm.
everything.
Like everything about music is enjoyable to me. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I guess kind of brings us to the next question, which is when you write
Mhm.
your music, do you write for yourself or for your audience?
I
Or maybe
really
both?
don't consider about the audience because I write 100% by myself, and that's because I want people to hear me out since
Right.
I had no friends for a long time.
Oh,
Well, I do now, but
right.
as a back when I was a kid, I was really a shy person.
Uh-huh.
Didn't know how to talk to others, didn't know how to chill out with others and stuff. But so I just needed someone to talk to, right? So
Right.
that just naturally led me to write about my own self and just hope that someone will listen. And yeah.
Okay, moving on to Unity questions. So you've mentioned that your title Unity came to you while
Mhm,
collaborating with the studio musicians you featured.
mhm,
What
mhm.
was the recording process like for this album? Like, did you finish the lyrics and main vocal melody by yourself first, and then you got together with musicians for a jam session to create, the instrumental and the final products, or?
Before I answer to that
Yes.
question, I have to say it was the most fun process I've ever done in my entire career.
Woo!
Yeah, everything happened in one huge recording studio in Chuncheon area. That's a
Mhm,
local name in Korea. First, I had everything in my mind. The directions were set,
mhm.
where the instrument to be put, and all that. But
Mm.
when the instrumentalist came through and started playing all the random stuffs that were not in my head, I started thinking, why don't I just give them some freedom to do their own thing and call the album Unity? It's like a mixture
Oh,
of everyone who participated in the album, right? It
wonderful.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just random, and the lyrics and the form of the songs did change a lot during the session.
Right. This was all done in one session?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That must have
I
been
know.
crazy.
Yeah, but it was fun. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
That's
And
amazing. Yeah. Because I
yeah, as
was
long as
wondering,
it's fun, it's just good to me. Yeah.
there's so many moments of improv. So I was wondering, like,
Mhm.
okay, did you want to correct them on anything? Or you're just like, you know what? You guys take the lead.
Nope,
Too.
nope, nope. Every bit of impromptu and even the mistakes that they've made, it
Uh-huh.
was perfect. It sounded so human, you know what I mean? Everything
Yeah.
is so digitalized nowadays, and I just wanted to bring the warmth of handcrafted music to the world these days. Like, yeah.
Samuel, I cannot thank you enough for that. I
Oh,
cannot thank you enough. Honestly,
oh
yeah.
wow.
Because I mean, I've been starting last year. I started listening to more and more and more music, and
Mm,
as my channel grew, I started
uh-huh.
getting used to these typical,
Yeah.
electronic sounds. And I started
Uh-huh.
realizing, like, you know what? I'm going into the world as a musician, and with all these electronic MIDI sounds, I'm
I
I'm not going to be
know.
able to get a job.
I
So
know.
whenever I hear the
That's true.
acousticness of like actual
Yeah.
musicians, I'm like, yes, someone's
Mm-hmm.
giving them a job, and it sounds so good.
Mm-mm.
So
That's what
thank
I'm talking
you.
about. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you.
guess, yeah, this is another question about the
Yeah.
recording process. So
Uh,
when you recorded, did the musicians first record to a click track and then you recorded the
mhm,
vocals afterwards over that already recorded instrumental, or did you
mhm.
all record at the same time, kind of like an ensemble?
Uh, it began as a MIDI work,
Hmm.
but like I said, as soon as the instrumentalist walked into the studio, I just erased all that project and started from the scratch. Yeah, it was just an ensemble.
So did you like record the vocals first over the MIDI?
Nope. I got rid
Oh,
of it as well.
oh, I see.
And I
Wow.
kind of changed it during the process of recording instruments. And then, yeah, instruments first and the vocal after. Yeah.
Okay, it
Yeah.
came so together so well.
Yeah. Came together.
Whew. And then, what was the most difficult song to record? Because Jasmine Mai has
Mhm.
a and
I
screaming.
know.
Happy
Yeah.
Avocado has so many different styles and background
Mhm.
vocals and keep things simple. If not for the drum
Mhm.
kit with like really a lot of improv, sounds kind of difficult to keep a steady rhythm over. So I was wondering
Mhm.
if one song's recording process was a little bit more difficult than the others.
Since all the instrumental parts were done by the players, all I
Hmm.
had to do was just put my vocals on top of it, right? But it was nothing difficult during the process because if I had no idea how to control my voice like I used to back in 2015 or 2014, it
Hmm.
would have been hard. But now I know how to play along with the instruments, my own style. So it was rather fun than difficult. Yeah, it
I
was
love to
fun.
hear that.
Yeah.
And also, Unity mostly contains sounds that we don't often hear in mainstream music. Like you
Mhm.
said,
Mhm.
actual real instruments and a jazzy style. What made you
Mhm.
decide to go this direction?
My fans would know I'm a 90s kid, grew up listening to a lot of analog based music and
Hmm.
acoustics
Hmm.
rather than digitalized audios.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying digital is bad, right? But
Right.
I just suddenly came to a point where finding out what fits me well the most is what I grew up jamming onto. And the warmth that
Oh,
the analogs and acoustic sound gave me were it. You know what I mean?
right. So
Yeah.
you do you feel like you finally found your sound, or you're still wanting to try
Hmm.
and do other
I
things?
think I kind of got a clue of what I want to do in the future, and I intend to develop this new possibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
All right, next is another fan question.
hmm
Chloe Lau asks, what are your favorite lyrics from this album and why?
Keep it simple. Nothing special was written, but like the name of the song, I usually think a lot, like a whole bunch of stuff. What to eat today. I have to think about an hour before I eat, where to go, what to do, what to write. But when I was working on that song, I was literally thinking nothing.
Mm.
I just wrote the daily routine of myself on that song without thinking. So
Uh-huh.
it's not about the lyrics, but it's about the approach of the songs that I love the most.
Right. So I guess you just kept things simple.
I just
So
kept myself
naturally.
simple. Yeah.
All right, so the first track in Unity is Jazz and My,
Uh-huh.
and towards the end, there's this really fun clapping, slapping, snapping
Yeah,
rhythms.
yeah, yeah.
Who is the one who recorded that? Was that you?
No. It's a body percussionist called Kim San. He's a local one. He has been messing with his body for more than 10 years.
Whoa.
He's an amazing person. The idea of this song was how one's negative use of language affect other people in a bad way. And so I just wanted to get rid of human voice as much as possible. So the first, I thought that why don't I just get rid of my whole voice and just leave the lyrics? But we have to care about the sales and that. So
Yeah.
I had to record my voice, but I wanted to minimalize. But I wanted a part where it's packed with no sounds coming out from a human throat, but only with the sounds made with our hands. And that just naturally made me call him to record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he also, did he record for Happy Avocado?
Oh, no. That was me. That was me on
Oh.
Avocado, yeah.
Did you take inspiration from his?
Yeah, definitely I did, yeah. And actually I
Whoa.
learned some from him during the process,
Did
so
you go
yeah.
up to him and be like, hey, can you teach me something?
Yo, yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
I just went up to him and he's like 6 or 7 years older than me, so I just called him, I just went, Sean, can you teach me some of that, some of your
Oh,
moves? And he was like, yo, that's cool, man. All right, I'll teach you some. And we just spent another hour or two giving me lessons and I
that's
just applied
amazing.
to it.
And yeah,
So,
so I'm guessing he did that all at the same time. It wasn't layered at all
mhm.
in post editing. Was that just
Yeah,
one take?
nope. It was just one take.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. He's amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And I think that was an absolutely brilliant choice to just have so much of the song centered around,
Mm-mm.
instrumentals and
Thank you.
noises. And
Thank
then
you.
I didn't include this on the doc that I sent you, but I'm
Mhm.
really curious. What made you decide to stream I Got Jazz? Because it really shocked me the first time I listened to it.
Oh.
Wow, this is random.
To be honest with you, when I was working on the lyrics for this album, I wasn't really thinking at all.
Oh.
And the jazz, with the word jazz just popped up when I was
Uh-huh.
driving. And it just happened randomly. I was listening to jazz music
Uh-huh.
and I just started singing. I got jazz in my ride, and that sounds random, but why don't I just put it to my lyrics? And that's the beginning of the song.
That's amazing. Is
Yeah.
the reason why this is first on the album because of the lyrics, or because you feel like maybe the screaming would catch someone's attention and pull them in?
I just wanted to keep the dynamic of the album
Mm-hmm.
because, like no other songs in the album is as aggressive as that
Right.
track. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I just wanted to put the aggressiveness on top to make people feel more relaxed listening to other tracks. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Moving on
Yeah.
to Keep It Simple. So this
Mhm.
song has such a free texture under such a structured melody, and which makes me wonder, I guess you kind of already went over this, but you came up with
Mhm.
the title and lyrics, or
Mhm.
did you come up with the melody and instrumentation of the song first?
Uh, I came up with the title and the lyrics first, and I wrote it. I finished it, and the rest was impromptu.
Because yeah, when
Nothing was set.
that's wow. Yeah, because when I was listening to it, I thought, wow, this is kind of opposite because the instrumentals are so, since they're so improvisatory, it isn't very simple at all. I can't predict what's going to happen. It's, you know, it's jazz. So it was super cool to hear, you know, a more structured melody under not so simple of instrumentation. So I was curious of that process. Yeah.
It just happened in studio.
So basically, it's just everything that happened that day is brilliant and meant to be, and created one of my top like 3 albums of 2018. Amazing.
Yeah.
So I was also gonna talk about the texture of the song being quite simple. So beforehand, you said that you already had an idea for what instrumentation you wanted this song to have. So what made you decide to have only, you know, like piano, bass, drum set, and then vocal line?
The original version was contained of like 20 different instruments.
Whew.
Yeah, I know. It's too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had brass set recorded, it had electronic guitars all distorted, and
Whoa.
it even had pick basses that sound really aggressive, and it even had my voice samples on top. So
Whoa.
it was too messy. The first version was too messy that I couldn't even stand listening to it. So yeah, so I try to how do I say? I mean, I try to keep it that way, but later I just came up that this is too much. Maybe I should get rid of everything and start from scratch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so once you got to the studio, you're like, oh, so we already have our instrumentalist here. Let's just.
So I just left my vocal lines and let's just redo the whole thing, and it just happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so Happy Avocado. Holy cow.
Yeah,
So yeah, I originally, I've heard your past songs, and my job on this channel is to basically just check out every single song released every day, just as soon as possible. But when this music video popped into my feed, I immediately clicked on it because I really like avocados. I love avocados.
Glad to find a friend.
Yes!
Yeah.
You may have gotten this question a lot, but why did you choose avocados to be the center of the music video and song?
Because I'm obsessed with avocados.
Yes.
That's like the only reason. I just wanted to write about how life without avocados then was like, and share with you guys. That's all.
And so that means the inspiration behind the lyrics is, like, I guess with Diablo also, it's just that happiness that comes with these simple things, or?
I just wanted to express that happiness is nothing fancy. We don't need a fancy ride to be happy. We don't need a fancy house to be happy. All we need is just something we like, and just all that little things that we feel happy about. You know what I mean? And Diablo 2 was one of the elements.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you already answered my question number.
Yeah,
my
3.
question. Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
But I have to say, if you want to play, or if you are going to play, or if you've been playing, it has to be Diablo 2, not 3.
All right, I will keep that in mind. Yeah, it was my
I've been playing that game for like 18 years, and I'm obsessed with it.
Right. Happiness comes from the simplest of things. That's also my life motto. So this song really, really vibes with me. It's just, man, it's just the small things that can really make your day. Yeah, and I'm curious. So people usually put their title tracks at the top of an album. So why is Happy Avocado 5th?
I care a lot more about the flow of an album than sales. And Happy Avocado sounded just great when it was put in the 5th. Simple as that.
Wow. Do you spend a lot of time trying to order your
Yeah, I do. Tracks? I do usually. I take about a month to organize before I release.
So you just go through like
the reason
all the
I can do that is because I don't really care about the sales at all. You know what I mean?
I have mad respect for that. Yeah, it's all about creating music and just putting out, you know, what you love.
I want the Korean music industry to develop in a different way, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They have already the K-pop scene so well done, you know what I mean? But what about, then it comes to this question, what about the other part of the Korean music industry?
Yes.
Yes, so I just wanted to develop, and it's just way of developing music industry here, caring more about the completeness of an album than the sales. Yeah.
That, oh my goodness. Wow. I am falling in love with your work more and more as we talk.
Thank you. Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah, because like a lot of songs nowadays are just pure songs, and if there
Mm-mm.
are albums, sometimes it's just like they're throwing random songs into it.
I know. Yeah.
It's I feel like this album is art in itself because you put so much work behind.
Oh, trust
Just
me,
the
third one is
flow.
gonna be much more better than this one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Wow, I am so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, next question for Happy Avocado. So what
Mhm.
made you decide to have so many different sections and to keep changing the hook, chorus, instrumentation, background textures instead of copy pasting what you used before? Was that the instrumentalist's idea or?
No, it's all mine actually. I recorded the whole session,
Uh-huh.
just except the guitar. So the thing is, I first wrote the song about a year and a half before.
Uh-huh.
I wrote it in 2017. Then I had really bad things going on with my life. It was like a disaster in
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
2017. So
that. Yeah.
I don't really remember that year, but I really got tired of listening to people's voices, people's
Uh-huh.
talking.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't even walk inside among all the crowd, and I even
Uh-huh.
had a hard time on the stage too.
Uh-huh.
So back then is I listened to a lot of musics without human voices, all the
Uh-huh.
instrumental albums, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
All the players albums, and like all the instrumental album has so many improvisations,
Yeah.
unexpected textures, and all that. And I just
Uh-huh.
wanted to have all the kind of feelings into one of my songs, and that happened to be Happy Avocado.
Gosh. I really wish that I filmed my reaction or something because, so of
Yeah.
course I clicked on this because I love avocados. And
Mm-hmm.
then this wonderful, the beginning hook, yeah,
Yeah.
that drew me in with these fun, really fun background instrumentation. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like this song if this repeats for the rest of it, right? No, you kept changing it. And I love things that change.
Thank
I
you.
was so blown away. Okay, so now we moved on to our final sum up questions. And
Mm-hmm.
your fan Isabella asked, what was the best thing that happened to you this year? Since you've achieved so much, is there
Mm-hmm.
anything else that you would like to accomplish?
I pretty much accomplished everything that I wanted during my 20s
Mm-hmm.
because next year is my last year of my 20s. So,
Uh-huh.
but I guess the most memorable thing I've done in my 20s is it's a cliche, but I got my parents a new ride. Yeah,
Yay!
that's a cliche.
Oh,
And
well, I mean, it's always great, to say thank you. My goal
yeah, I
is
know. It's
to.
a surprise gift. I always wanted to do that since when I was young, since when I
Mm-hmm.
was like 10. Yeah, that was my dream. So it's like dream come true. So I accomplished that. And I don't know. I still got one more thing to achieve, releasing my third album in 2019. I'm working
Right.
really hard on that.
Right. So I thought that's my very last question. Since you're
Yeah.
working super hard
Yeah.
on your 2019 album, and in
Yeah.
past interview, it says
Mhm.
that it'll be the start of your new career.
Yeah.
So I was, if you don't mind giving us a spoiler, what genres or styles are you looking forward to do in this album? Or is it a
I
secret?
can't tell you the details for the album, but it'll be a mixture of everything I've learned throughout my 20s, both in music and life. That's
Uh-huh.
all I can tell you for now.
Okay.
The
And
title's already set. I can't
oof,
wait to reveal it, but you guys have to wait until like next April or May.
okay. You're
Yeah.
gonna spend a month ordering the tracks and everything?
Uh-huh. Actually, I wrote like 300 songs for my third album.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So I gotta work on picking which song to
Right.
put now. So yeah.
Well, we see more collaboration with studio musicians.
I can't guarantee that because this next album is going to be more focused on myself and
Mm.
showing more how multi-instrumentalist I am. It's so
Oh,
yeah, you can expect more of me playing different instruments in that album.
right. So you play piano and guitar.
Piano, guitar, bass, drums, pretty much everything. But yeah, just wait for it. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, we definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Along with all the other people who end up watching this and
Mm-hmm.
me, myself, we are very much looking forward to what you're doing next. And thank you so much for doing this
Mm-hmm.
interview with me. I had a lovely
Mm-hmm.
time talking with you.
Thank you so much. Me too.